Yeah.
But one of the big things going around is Trump supporters regretting their votes. I know none of the people on our cast regret their
And
vote
how
for
they
Donald
feel.
Trump.
Do they regret their vote?
I mean, this is the big question, right? I hear all these stories, all these articles. All the Trump voters, they regret what they did back in 2024. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did back in 2024. What are we talking about? Trump voters looking back at 2024. We got a new poll out. The poll was conducted this month. What percentage would change their vote to a different candidate? We're talking just 2%, just 2%. That's not even a wide spot on the road. And then there's this additional 1% who say they would rather not vote. We're talking overall under 5% might or would have changed their vote, Donald Trump voters back in 2024. And then you ask, okay, the same question to Kamala Harris voters, and it turns out the numbers are rather similar. So if there was a repeat, if folks got to be able to redo their vote that they had back in 2024, would the result be any different? I doubt it would be. I doubt it would be, or it would still be extremely close. The bottom line is, for all this talk of Trump voters regretting their vote, in the numbers, it really just doesn't show up, John.
So the stickiness with Trump voters and President Trump in this presidency, how does it compare to his first presidency?
Yeah, okay. So, I was interested in sort of a historical analogy here, sort of, does this look similar or different from back in 2017, looking at 2016? Well, in February of 2017, 4% of Trump voters say they'd shift their vote. That's actually slightly more than the 3% this time around. So, you look back, you say, okay, there's these Trump voters who really regret their vote. Historically speaking, they really don't regret their vote. And if anything, the number this time around is actually smaller than it was the first time around. And it's certainly smaller than the number we saw coming out of 2020, of course, after the events of January 6th. So the bottom line is this. If there's some idea out there that Trump voters are going around, man, I wish I had voted for Kamala Harris instead of Donald Trump, the numbers say that is a fanciful universe. It really, for the most part, does not exist.
What about the
Nora, why does this rumor, or why do people keep saying that Trump supporters regret their votes?
The same people that are sitting there saying that AOC has a chance to damn win when she runs. The same people that told you Kamala Harris was going to win with a landslide in November 2024. The same people that told you Joe Biden was mentally stable and mentally cognitive to be the president of the United States. That's who's spreading these lies, folks. The same Democrats. The do nothing Democrats do nothing but spread lies, misinformation, divide America. Because again, we're going to talk about this on Tuesday. They're communists. They spread misinformation. They are trying to ruin this country, and they're trying to make you think that Trump voters regret their vote. Baby, we don't regret our vote. Never, ever, ever am I going to regret my vote. You know when I regretted my vote? In 2021, when I realized Joe Biden wasn't going to do what he said. That's when I regretted my vote. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump. And you know what I regret? I regret voting for Joe Biden in 2020 because he wouldn't have ruined this country.
Izzo, I mean, like, this was on CNN, so the left is looking at the statistics.
Fake news. It's all fake
news. So why do you think that this rumor is persisting? Why do you think people keep saying this?
I have no clue. Honestly, I have no clue. I mean, what they say? Less than 5% altogether of quote unquote Trump supporters. I want to know who they're asking to do these surveys. Like, how mentally sane are these people that they're asking? Are they asking like first time voters? Are they asking like middle-aged people? Are they asking like people at end of life that probably have dementia that they said they voted for Trump but they actually didn't? But who knows? Who are these people surveying is the real question, because I live in a blue state, a deep blue state, and they keep trying to tell me that this is a deep blue state. But no matter if you go to Newark or you go to Cape May or you go out to fucking Trenton, it is Trump country. 100%. You see Trump flags. You see everything everywhere you go. During election season, I did not see one Kamala poster or yard sign. Nothing. See LGBT flags everywhere, but the same house that have that, Trump flags. So make it make sense to me. How is this really a blue state?
Right. So Kamal, you in a very blue state, probably the bluest state in the whole country. I mean, were you a Democrat before? Did you switch to Republican, or how do you feel like? Do you feel like Trump voters are changing their mind?
I'm gonna be honest, I've been kind of like apolitical since like '08. First time I voted for Obama. And that was the last time, because after that, we know what Obama did, or the lack of the things he didn't do. Shit. Like, and to be honest, I'm in Dago, aka San Diego. This is one of the more conservative cities in California. I think here in like Bakersfield. Even though California is a blue state, I live in a one of the more red cities really across the country. You feel me? So I don't really see that much support for Kamala. I saw a little bit of support for Trump out here, but most motherfuckers don't care about politics out here, man. In San Diego, the sun is beaming. Everybody going to the beach and going to baseball games. They just out here. People more worried about some of the homelessness. That's about it. So when you live kind of like in an environment like that, politically is not as driven like in other cities, like where I'm from, the Bay Area, like in Oakland and stuff like that, or San Francisco, things of that nature. So yeah, and like I said, I've been apolitical since '08. So like I said, I'm always for my Black American people. What policies they're gonna do to help us with that? And the policies I'm specific about is cash reparations and an anti-Black hate crime bill to start out with. So
For sure. I think one of like the big reasons that people think that people are turning against Trump is because of the things that Trump are supposed to pass policy wise, and they don't feel like he's succeeding. So I wanted to play specific polls and like immigration stuff like that.
Here, and independents feel that Donald Trump has vacated the center of the electorate, catering to his base. What are we talking about? Well, let's talk about the overall net approval ratings. We're going to look at the worst ever at this point in a presidency. The old record among independents for the worst ever was Donald Trump back in 2016, a net approval rating of minus 16 points. Well, Donald Trump has broken his own record here. He now holds, in this particular term, the worst ever net approval rating at this point in a presidency among independents at, get this, minus 22 points. He is 22 points underwater with independents. That breaks the old record that belonged to Trump. He has set the new record. He is completely underwater with the center of the electorate, Kate Baldwin.
And this is overall. This
Yes.
is on all the issues. Now, focus in specifically on the economy.
Yeah, let's focus in on the economy, right? What is driving this overall approval rating for Donald Trump among independents to go underwater? Let's take a look at the economy. And let's take a look at Trump's net approval rating on it and look at the trend line over just the last few months. You go back to January, he was slightly above water with independents at plus 1 point. Look at this drop, Kate. Oh, my. Minus 29 points. That's a 30-point drop in under 3 months of time. What independents are hearing from Donald Trump, they hate. They hate what they're hearing from Donald Trump, and they are abandoning him in record numbers. At this point in his last presidency, he was about at even, at 0 points in terms of his net approval rating on the economy, and now he's at minus 29 points. You go back through the record books, I simply put, Kate Baldwin, can't find anything close to this. This is such a record that there is no historical analogy to be 29 points underwater on the most important issue of the day with independents. This right here, my dear friends, is political poison. If an election were held today and Donald Trump's net approval rating in the economy was minus 29 points with independents, I'm not quite sure how Republicans can hold on to the House of Representatives.
Is it all tariffs that are driving this?
Yeah, okay. So let's take a look here.
So Enzo, I know you're tired of hearing about tariffs, so I cut it off early. So what is it about the Teflon Don that he can have horrific polling numbers and specific things, but people still love him? How does that happen?
I mean, it's horrific polling numbers with independents. It's not Democrats, it's not Republicans. It's kind of funny that they literally just showed 2 graphs and 2 polls of just independents. Like, I want to see what the numbers are for Democrats and Republicans too. But I mean, with everything he's doing with the tariffs, at first I was kind of skeptical about it. Not going to lie, because I was criticizing it for the last couple months up until he put in this new tariff order. Now you have 100, it was 75 a week and a half ago, countries that are at the negotiating table that want to renegotiate tariff deals. Now we're at 100. He's doing something right. and I'm happy to see it. With what he's doing with China, kind of scared me at first, but I mean, you hear the numbers from China that are shutting down factories left and right because they're not going to be able to withstand the tariffs that the Chinese government's putting on them, as well as the United States. So I hate to say it, Trump is right. He's right about what he's doing, and China's going to crack. I give it 2 weeks. China's going to crack.
Nora, so do you believe that the Teflon Don is untouchable and he's the best and this is all fake news?
So I don't worship Trump. I don't worship any man. I have the hat on because I am proud of the ideals of Make America Great Again. I like the positive aspects of it, and I like trolling the Democrats or the left when they see this hat and they see I'm a woman of color, their heads explode. So it's a great feeling. But other than that, I don't think he's a god. I don't think I worship him. I think he's doing a phenomenal job if we're comparing him to the abysmal job that Joe Biden did. I think the tariffs are doing its job. It's bringing people to the negotiation table. I don't think China is going to break as fast as the other countries. Like they said, they've been around 1,000 years and they've outlasted all the dynasties. The UK Empire, a bunch of other countries they've outlasted. So I don't think they're going to be as easy to bend. That's going to be Trump's biggest hurdle. However, do I think independents are like upset? Possibly, but guess what? You know what's going to happen? When Trump's plan is done, they're going to see their pockets fatter. They're going to see how great they are. They're going to see how much better we are under Trump compared to Joe Biden. They're going to think back to how life was under Joe Biden. And they're going to say, you know what? I can't with another Democrat. I'm going to vote with Republican. I really do stand on that. I think the Democrats are going to lose terribly in 2028 again because their local politicians do shit. They don't do nothing. They're the do nothing Democrats. So it's not going to be a hard sell.
Kamal, you're the only independent on the panel. Are you happy with Trump's job?
Shit, the only thing I'm pissed off is I missed the dip. He told us when to buy on the dip with them tariffs. Damn, I should have listened, man. But I bought a little bit, went up a little bit, so I made some though. I'm an independent. No, I'm not. Why am I mad? He indirectly helping out my foundational Black Americans with the whole deportation of immigrants and stuff like that. Yeah. So no, I'm not mad. And that thing just reminded me. There's a book called How to Lie with Stats. That's all CNN was kind of doing. They just lying with stats. They bring in a certain stat to make it look bad, and it's like, oh, this is independent. Most independents probably stayed home anyway. I was like,
Fence fucking riders. Tell it. Come on.
man. So it's like that just was a lie with stats with CNN. It's the propaganda. You feel me? So.
Well, it seems like everybody's bringing up China, and somebody just said China in the chat. That's the main thing that we're talking about. And it seems like China has found a loophole on how to get back at Trump, and it's all over TikTok.